Time equals money. I don't know about you and your situation in life, but I know that for me, it always seems like I can use more of both. These are 5 of my most used time-saving tips and tricks that help us get home-cooked food on the table quickly instead of spending money on fast food. Many of us already know about the awesome benefits of passive income, being able to earn money with very little involvement. I like to apply this concept to cooking and use my slow cooker for a passive cooking method. One unconventional way I use my slow cooker is I steam my potatoes. First, I scrub and wash the potatoes well and place them in the crock. I put it on low for 7 to 8 hours and the resulting potato is ready for all sorts of dishes. I just store them whole in the fridge and chop them up to add to quick soups or even to make pan-fried potato for breakfasts. The resulting potato is very quick to cook up and delicious to all of us despite our different dietary preferences. I also use the slow cooker to cook meats for my family. Put about a quarter diced onion on the bottom, place the meat on top, push the meat down to make it an even layer, and add taco seasoning on the top of the meat. I don't even mix it until the end. For 1 pound of meat, I slow cook for 3 to 4 hours on high, then break up the meat, mix it up, and serve. I've even gone so far as to cook whole logs of frozen breakfast sausages in the slow cooker to make my life easier for batch cooking breakfast burritos. The texture is softer than sauteed sausages, but my husband doesn't seem to mind the softer texture, and it saves me from having to clean up splatters from pan-fried sausages. Passive cooking wins. I love using my scale to measure ingredients instead of measuring by volume with cups and spoons. These are the only items that I'll have to wash after making my cookies. Notice how there are no measuring utensils. There are no cups and no teaspoon measurements. I'm able to make my cookies by using my scale to perform measuring. I can easily put one ingredient directly into my bowl, tear out or zero the scale, and then move on to the next. This limits my washing just to the bare necessities. And if you're afraid of overpouring, then you can use one additional bowl to measure out each ingredient and then pour that into your mixing bowl. I am especially grateful for this technique when I have to measure sticky, messy foods like oil, honey, and peanut butter. Using those measuring utensils, I can tell you that I hate all the waste of the product being stuck onto the utensil, and the cleanup is so difficult. Any measuring cups you see here I use as scoops, and they live inside of each ingredient's container. It took me about 10 minutes to figure out the conversions for each of the ingredients of this new recipe that I'm trying. This is a one-time time investment that ends up saving me a lot of time and work in the long run. I start by writing the recipe down on a scrap piece of paper. I find this step very relaxing. Then I gather all my ingredients to try to find their weight equivalents. Many times the ingredients themselves will give you the volume measurement along with the metric equivalent, and it's just a matter of doing some math. I always like to use this as a way to challenge myself and my son with mental math. I made a printout with many conversions that really helps us to find the weight equivalents. It's linked for free for you in the description box, and as a last resort, I go to Google to find the weight of the ingredient for the volume that I'm looking for. Measuring this way will give you results that are more accurate and repeatable. That upfront conversion work saves me from having to wash each of these utensils every time I make this recipe. Here I'm trying to put all the ingredients on the counter away before the oven preheat function is done. So without being reckless, I go as quickly as I can, and I put everything that I took out back into its home so that it's ready for use the next time. This always seems to get my heart pumping. And although I didn't use these measuring utensils and spoons, I did take them out for filming purposes. So here I'm putting them away. The oven's done preheating, but I wasn't done with my last challenge. But that's okay. I'm just gonna press on and finish up my last challenge while adding the additional challenge of washing all the dishes from breakfast and cookie making. Here I actually had plenty of time, so I even got to do a quick wipe down of the sink. Now that the cookies are done, I take them out of the oven and figure out a new challenge. Here I want to challenge myself to clean up the rest of the kitchen, so I'm going around and doing that and just putting away anything that's on the countertops. I view my countertop as a work surface and not as storage. I found that it's much easier this way to clean and wipe down in this empty state, and the next time that we have to cook, it's ready for us to go. And that's perfect timing. The cookies are cooled and now it's snack time. There's a saying that a watched pot never boils, but I can tell you from experience that it will, and watching your pots boil is my next time-saving tip. So grab a chair and a clock or phone to tell time with, and time how long it takes for your pot to come up to a full boil. I have issues sitting still, so here I'm stretching my neck and arms while watching my pot. This session took 11 minutes for my smallest pot full of water to come to a full boil. This gives me a baseline to know how long it takes for water to come up to boiling. I take 2 to 3 minutes off the boiling time and use that as my baseline. For this particular pot, I use 8 minutes. This means that the next time I need to use this pot to boil anything, plain water, rice, beans, I can set my timer to 8 minutes and freely work in the kitchen with the comfort of knowing that my pot will not boil over. Once that timer goes off, I know I need to be very close to the pot because it's gonna boil soon. My last tip is to soak pasta before you use it. Here you can see I'm applying this technique to a modified higher fiber pasta and it works well. Soak the pasta in cold tap water with just enough water to cover it. The trickiest part is to find a container that will fit your noodle. If you can't, then you'll just need to flip your pasta halfway to make sure all sides soak. I've even had success with penne and rotini shaped pastas. If you're unsure that this will work with your pasta, try it with a small amount and see how it goes. The resulting soaked pasta is now pliable and can easily cook in a smaller pot of water. If at this point you don't have time to cook it, no problem. Drain it very well and throw it in the fridge for up to 3 days and you can cook it when ready. At this point, you've made your own fresh pasta. Use your baseline from the boiling technique in the previous tip to bring your water to a hard boil. Here I have a 2.5 quart pot filled with about 6 to 7 cups of water, and I'm cooking a 12-ounce box of pasta. Drop in your pre-soaked pasta. Add salt to taste. Here I used about 1 tablespoon's worth of salt. Then mix well. At this point, it doesn't require too much attention. Once it comes to another hard boil, the pasta is almost always done to our liking. If you like it softer, cook it a little more. This trick saves so much time, water, and gas while cooking. It even makes cooking pasta in the summer months bearable. One pasta I tried this with still took a really long time to cook, so I used that to my advantage and just prepped the meal in there by throwing some frozen veggies, some chicken that we grilled in bulk and froze, and a couple pats of butter. Using some of the techniques outlined in this video, I was able to put this meal together in less than 10 minutes of active cooking time. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to watch this video. I hope you were able to get something valuable out of this. Please like and subscribe for more videos on how we try to live more frugally and minimally. Thank you for watching, and I wish you happy cooking. Bye.